Hello, hey, Tracy with the good heels on. Let me tell you about my day, it won't be real long. Woke up to a Red Bull before I wash my face. I'm gonna need all the energy if I'ma see this day. Work hard, play hard, work hard, repeat. Free soul, repetition, so hard for me. I focus on payoff and often that don't come round. And I can't be myself too often, I feel dumbed down. Starting to recall more frequent daydreaming now. Was all I won't get is out of town. But I'm here for now. As soon as I get off, I'm gonna kick it.
What is going on, family? How is everybody doing? Listen. Who, fam, it's almost over. It is almost. Whoo. Let me tell you, elections in this country are becoming a kind of trauma. Woo! But we almost out of here. We almost in there. Don't you fret none, fam. Go vote. I voted today. So go and take care of your business as well as usual. As usual, there is a lot, so much on your ballot. In addition to the two people, we spend a lot of time talking about the two people at the top of the ticket. Please let this be a time for you to know and understand that there's a lot more to your ticket than that, okay? If there's nothing that you take from me today, please take that from me. There's a lot more that you got to be concerned about. Listen, I was next to Negroes are so funny. I was next to somebody in the voting booth today. You got to look at that thing before you go vote, because I was in there next to that and somebody, it was obvious to me. It was obvious to me that they hadn't done their due diligence before they got there. So look, it took me. If it took me a minute to vote, I don't think it was a minute. Fam, I really don't. I don't think it took Yvette D. Carnell 1 minute to vote. I was in there. Pow! I don't research. It was in there grunting. How many? What you grumbling about? What you mad about? You supposed to come in here and know what you doing. Ain't that much on there. Come on now, come in there and know what you're doing. Know what you got to do. Now, fam, we got a few things I want to talk about. And I really want to hear y'all's opinion too, on this. Because I feel like there were a lot of missed opportunities. A lot of things happened. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I want to hear from y'all. But I want to just say, I'm tired of people. A lot of people behave like clowns. And we talked a lot about the clowns who were doing the ski-wee and all of that. We talked about, if you were one of those people this election cycle, we got to talk about the people who are the weakest links over here. If you were one of those people in this election cycle who thought Kamala was your ADOS mama or Trump was your white daddy, we have a problem with you because you are the weakest link. A lot of y'all go around acting like strong chains and you weak links, and we or the rest of it, we are tired of carrying you. We are tired of carrying you. If you get emotional, ladies and gentlemen, if you get emotional about candidates and not about agendas, see, still ain't right. Goodness. If you get emotional about candidates and not agendas, you are the weakest link. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. But if that's what you do, you are the weakest link. We got to get these weak links out of here. Before we even talk about anything, I saw, listen, it happened on both sides. We had a lot of weak links on both sides, excited about other human beings. No, you should be excited. Hey, tell me what they did to get you excited. Well, Kamala, she a woman of color. No. Well, Trump, he the man. We always love Trump. No. Who is we? Who is we? We got women on one side who get into this black girl magic garbage, and we got men on the other side who just have a father or grandfather complex. Nobody loved you or something. I don't know, but you got to get out of that. These people are not family. You got to get out of it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make nobody feel bad, but you got to get out of this. We got to get out. My eye itching. We got to get out of this. So listen, here's what I want to do. I want to just bring up a couple clowns real quick. And then I'm going to talk about that BET thing that happened last night. And then I'm going to let you get into it if you want to. So this is clown work. Look at how you... I'm so every time I'm on stage with Trump. I'm on stage with Trump. What's the man's name? I don't even know his name. This is silliness. This is an insecure man. right? This is a problem. All of you all, you should be, if I ask you why you are supporting Trump, if I ask you why, I know this is remedial for those of us who are in it, but when we talk about when I talk about missed opportunity and mishaps, this is part of it. Some of y'all are just goofies who like gold chains, or you goofies and you just like to see a woman you say and she's black and she ooh sis ooh ooh. You all are the weakest link on both sides. You're weak. You can't tell me one thing, man. I had money. I had money when Trump was in office. You ain't never had two nickels to rub together. Don't lie to your mama, baby. Don't lie to me. I can't believe this was stupid. Calling people names, you have no idea what's on the agenda. You probably don't even care about other people, but you just feel you want to call her a name, and Trump was with the PORN woman. So that's not what we're talking about. This is about agendas. Those of you all who were on Trump's side and on Kamala's side and just you got invested in personalities, you got emotional about personalities, you are the weakest link. That was a misstep, that's a mishap, and we can't keep carrying y'all. And I don't want to keep paying attention to y'all. I don't want to do it. All of y'all, people say, you left or the right. No, some of you all are the same and you don't even realize it. And you are an albatross around our necks. And we are tired of you. Can we exchange you for anybody, ladies and gentlemen? Politics is transactional. I heard D.L. Hughley say that on the Black Men Town Hall. Where you pick that up at, D.L.? Voting is an exchange and not a gift. And if you are getting emotional, about a candidate and not an agenda, you have already lost. Don't even try to play with nobody. If that's what you're doing, we have already lost. Pack it up, put your gloves down, come out the ring, we finished. Because that's not how you play the game of politics. It's not an emotional game. Now, if you want to get emotional about the agenda. They got something so good, it's going to transform our lives, our quality of life. If you want to get emotional about that. If nobody can get you emotional about the agenda, we are in trouble. If you are invested in a person, if you get on stage and say, oh, I can't believe I'm here with Kamala Harris, or oh my God, I can't believe I'm here with Trump, you have already lost the plot, baby. Let it go. Let it go. We got a lot of people who played sports and people who rap songs and stuff. And when's the last time you read a political book? When's the last time you read a history book? No, I just know Trump. I saw. Y'all are an albatross around our necks, and we are tired of carrying you. The weight that we are carrying does not feel like it's alive. It doesn't feel like it's actively seeking information. That's not what it feels like at all. Okay? Now, let's keep this thing going, shall we? Oh, this one, I got to move this one down here. Hold on a second. Because this one's going to come in. We saw it with the black men thing. Right? Hold on. Why is this thing not doing right today? Now, y'all saw it. They had, what's the child's name? D.L. Hughley. And I this is the first thing I don't like. I don't like comedians leading political conversations. It's almost like we like people to lead 10, 12 lives. You get one life. I'm not saying you cannot make a contribution, but if your life is dedicated to one vocation, then that's what it is. I cannot lead a masterclass on comedy. That is not my vocation. So why do we let comedians lead these kinds of things? So I already have a problem. And he's not invested in us. He's invested in one political person. I have a problem with that too. So I have a problem with him leading this conversation just to begin with. Because it's obvious you are for one person. I don't like being for a person. I know I've said that here a few times, but I'll say it again. So a lot happened. Now let me tell you what good happened. I don't want to just say this was all bad. There are some things in this black men town hall, whatever it was. There's some things I appreciated. When they talked about Trump wanting to give police officers immunity and how that's a problem, they're right. And I would like for Trump supporters to address that, because you need to address that. Adolf Trump supporters have to address that. You have to address the agenda items, just not the personality, the man that you seem to like, and I met him and he seemed cool. You have to address that. So I don't want to just address the problems that I saw. I also want to address what I saw that they said that was okay. I get it. When police officers act badly, we have video of them doing that, shooting people down the street, putting their knees on people's. You do not get immunity from prosecution. Especially when we know that police polices wealth. They don't police safety. They have no obligation to that according to the Supreme Court, and we have no wealth. We should absolutely be opposed to police getting immunity. So when they said that, they were right. Don't want it to seem like I just agree with everybody on everything. They were right when they said Trump is wrong to try to give the police immunity. And every Negro, just like every Negro who's supporting Kamala should say, what are you doing for us? Every Negro who's supporting Trump should say that as well. Like, why are we giving the police immunity? And what is the impact it's going to have? The problem that I have is that we have to expect more from the Democrats because we are the base of that party. We're not the base of the Republican Party. We know what the Republican Party wants to do with us and for us. So I ask more of the Democratic Party because you can't get elected without us. Republicans always have a plan to get elected without us. Their mashup, their tent is not the tent of the Democratic Party. So, but okay, I'm just talking about what I agree with. I would even say, this was an interesting little thing. I don't know what Derek Johnson was talking about. I have no idea. But it was an interesting conversation. Now, I would even go so far as to say climate. I'm not talking about climate change. I'm talking about environmental racism. We talk about Cancer Rally and things of that nature. If Trump returns to the White House, former President Donald Trump, who last month called climate change one of the greatest scams of all time, plans to build on his first term attack on the environment when he pulled the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement and rolled back more than 100 environmental regulations. That's largely when we talk about places like Flint, when we talk about why no heads roll there, when we talk about Cancer Rally, we have a lot of that in our backyard. I understand all of that, and I agree with it. Right? Let's talk both sides. I'm going to let y'all get in. Don't worry about that. But there's something else that was said I'm finna get to. So let me get to what I didn't like. D.L. Hughley. So he says, he's always trying to make a joke. That's another reason why I don't like comedians in this space. I don't care whether it's Bill Maher. I don't care whether it's D.L. Hughley. I don't like none of them leading these conversations. As far as I'm concerned, Bill Maher just doesn't care about people in general. And so he doesn't, whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Another problem. So immigration comes up. And one of the problems is that you just have to know what you're talking about in order to have these conversations. I just need you to know what you're saying and why you're saying it if you're going to have an immigration conversation. So he says, Jermaine Dupri is there as well. I don't know everybody who was there, child. I'm not investing in remembering these names. Nobody ever remembers my name when they say something that came out of my mouth. So screw your names. So he says, well, how many of y'all ever saw an immigrant who's doing the job that you thought you should be doing? It's funny. Well, it's funny because you're a comic. And you don't even pay attention to these jobs because that's what you don't do that. That's not you do stand up or whatever you do now. I do not care. So you don't think about that. See, the truth of the matter is there are a lot of jobs we shouldn't be doing no more because we should be up here on the hierarchy, but we're not up here on the hierarchy. So we are still competing for those jobs on the bottom. That's a whole nother thing about how America created a racialized caste, but we are still down there. So we do still need those jobs. We shouldn't. Oh, excuse me. But how do you tell a man that who has made his money telling jokes? I can't explain that to you. You never worked a real job. I'm sorry. But let me just bring up what I had brought up before. Hold on, let me see. So he says, how many of y'all ever seen an immigrant work a job you want to work? Illegal immigrants. Well, the foreign-born workers, and I'm not saying nothing about nothing. I'm just saying you have to know what you're talking about. Foreign-born workers made up 17.4% of the labor force in 2019. Those are people who came here. This is legal or illegal. This is documented or undocumented. People who are foreign born make up 17.4% of the labor force. If you do not think that has an impact on labor in this country, you are insane. And I'm not just talking about people who are here illegally. I'm talking about people who are here illegally who have H-1Bs as well. And foreign born doesn't include people who are first or second generation. I'm talking about there's going to be some displacement. That's a large number. And that number is just foreign born workers in the labor force as of 2019. That's a large number. Now, if you want to have that conversation, I'm not even telling you how to feel about it. How's that? How's that for different? I'm not even telling you how you should feel about this. I'm telling you that you have to stop having conversations or allowing people to lead conversations who have no idea what they're talking about or who gauge their politics. How you ever seen somebody work you ever seen an immigrant work a job and you thought that should be your job? And then Jermaine Dupri said, no, not in Atlanta. Well, I'm looking at a comedian and a record producer. What do y'all know about real jobs? See, I'm tired of this. There's a lot of stuff I'm tired of, but I'm tired of this mythology of Atlanta. It's been going around. Everybody in Atlanta, everybody black, who got good job. No, we got squatters. How many of y'all know that they picking up trash and stuff? I was talking to somebody about this morning, and for Atlanta, and people just squatting in houses. How many of y'all live around here where we just, everybody be like, was those gunshots? See, because I'm in the community. What did I just hear? See, some of you all who are not living where everybody else live need to shut up. If you are not living in the community where normal people live, where normal ADOS people live in or outside of Atlanta, then just shut up. Because the housing is expensive. All kind of stuff is going on. It's pit bulls outside. Y'all know how I feel about that. It's all kind of gunshots, robberies, people checking cars every night trying to break in. So if you don't live that life, and if you don't live in no community, stop. If you hit the lottery because you can make a good song or because you can tell a good joke, if you are in entertainment and you've never had to deal with HR in a company, how about you shut up? How about you should know you can't speak for us? I'm tired of this mythology of Atlanta. Atlanta is the home of plastic people. It's the home of fake Negroes who think they made it, who drive around in Mercedes on a fourth of tank of gas. That's who Atlanta is, who are robbing Peter to pay Paul. And all of these communities are in for a lot because it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. People get evicted out of these homes, and a great community all of a sudden is suffering what they call blight. All of a sudden, it's a blight. Oh my God, nobody's in these houses, and they're being bought up by these companies, and the rent is getting higher, and the kids are running around all night checking car doors. If you don't live here, shut up. Well, I'm from Atlanta. I don't care. I do not care. I grew up. I don't care. You don't live around. You ride off into a very nice part of Atlanta, or a white part of Atlanta. So I don't want to hear about what you think and what you know and I don't want to hear about that because you don't consult information. If your view of Atlanta is not based on the cost of rent, if it's not based on the cost of housing, if you're not looking up the eviction rates, if you're not looking up the how much wealth was lost in Atlanta during the Great Recession, if you're not looking up those things. I was at a meeting here, and they were telling me over where you live is 20%. We got 20% foreign born over. What are you talking about? I don't hear that in Atlanta. That's because you in the studio. You've been in the studio your whole life. You don't live a real life. But let me stop my rant because listen. I'm not with this, right? I don't see it in Atlanta. Well, when you talk about 2019 national averages, I see in Atlanta. It was 17.1 or higher in Atlanta, Jermaine Dupri. You make your money on residuals. Let me see your house. Yeah, of course you don't see it. And of course you don't get, I'm so tired let me tell you, I'm so tired of these celebrities. I don't know what to do. I really don't know. I'm so tired of them. I'm so sick of them. They give a representation of us that don't make no sense. It looks to me, Jermaine Dupri, if you're around regular people, you should see it, but you're not. Because you're not regular. You produce Crisscross and all of them. You've been producing hits for years. Of course you don't see it. Of course you don't know. But listen, you are responsible for what you don't know. Or just don't talk. Produce a lot of great songs, love it, but shut up. Percentage distribution of foreign-born 2019 national averages. Now listen, how many of y'all see them doing jobs you want to do? We shouldn't have to do those jobs, but you're talking about management, professional, related, foreign-born versus natural. What? Wait a minute. You talking about service, talking about sales, talking about natural resources, construction, maintenance, talking about production, transportation? Yes. I got news for y'all. I got news for you celebrities who like to get on stage and talk about Negro business. A lot of Negroes just need a job. A lot of Negroes need a job. It don't have to be no specific kind of job. A lot of Negroes need a job. Well, how many of y'all ever looked out and said, and say, I want that job? I got news for you. Some people just want a job. Have y'all, hey, celebrities, have you had a problem with the price of groceries? Of course not. Half people up there were celebrities. Not everybody. I saw some people who were not. There was a couple of political people, but and let's say even if you are a celebrity, you got to catch up. You got some catching up to do. Listen, if I decide I want to go and speak on comedy and the history of comedy and be a comedic expert tomorrow, and I don't have no history in it, I got some work to do. If I want to go and talk about how to construct a joke or how to do a stand-up special, nobody would let me do it. If I decided today I want to go do a masterclass on how to do stand-up, everybody would say she doesn't have a history in stand-up. So why do we never tell these Negroes you don't have a history in politics and you have no political knowledge? So why are you pretending? Because we can all see that the emperor ain't got no clothes on. Management professionals, foreign-born, 33.9%. Well, how many of y'all ever seen immigrant that you want that job? Well, if I've made my living for a long time in nightclubs and kings of comedy and stuff like that, I would think that I might think the same thing. If I didn't read political books and I was still running around apologizing to Kamala Harris, you got to get over that too, D.L. Hughley. Stop apologizing. Get your stuff together. You are a grown man. You've been apologizing for 2 years. Get it together. Don't talk all that grown man stuff to me, and you've been apologizing to the same presidential candidate for 2 years. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Have you no shame? Have you no pride? Well, Kamala Harris, I used to believe that too. And I'm just gonna say it again. We've heard you say it 35 times. I didn't know no better, and I didn't know she didn't lock up, and I thought she did, and now that I know better, I stop whining. Stop whining. Stop being a baby. Apologizing to that woman everywhere you go. Yeah, you ain't apologizing to no other woman in your life the way you apologize to that woman. Get up off your knees, man. Like, what is we doing with these people? All this. That's a fraudulent kind of masculinity. You run around and you talk tough. Yeah, we black men. I apologize again, Kamala. Kamala, I didn't know when I said that stuff about you. I did not know, Kamala. I did my research. Negro, if you don't shut up. Do your research now. Did you only do research for Kamala, then you decided you wasn't going to do no research no more? If that's what's going on? You wasn't going to do no research. We were talking all kind of stuff. Service, foreign-born versus native. You was talking all kind of stuff. DL. Now you all of a sudden you don't want to do no research no more. Foreign-born workers, labor force characteristics. I'm not going to spend too much time here, and I'm not going to spend too much time with this. But I just don't need nobody that don't know nothing about nothing except when he researched for Kamala. He been apologizing. I don't need you to tell me nothing. Like back when Kanye was good, can't tell me nothing. In 2023, the foreign-born accounted for 18.6% of the U.S. civilian labor force, up from 18.1% in 2022. From 2022 to 2023, the unemployment rate of the foreign-born edged up to 3.6%. Now, pay attention to that number. The unemployment rate for the foreign-born is 3.6%. Guess what? Guess what? Guess whose unemployment rate is higher? Do y'all remember the other week, or was it on Patreon? I can't remember. But do y'all remember the other week I brought up the unemployment rate and the trend for it doesn't disaggregate, it needs to. For black workers, guess whose unemployment rate is higher than the foreign-born unemployment rate? I want y'all to guess. Please guess. Let me bring it up. This last column is September 2024. Unemployment rate, and this is black or African American, says 5.7%. Let's go back to the unemployment rate for foreign-born, which is 3.6%. If you have a higher unemployment rate as an American in this country as blacks, and we don't even know, our unemployment rate is probably much higher than that. That's why we gotta have this aggregation. It's not delineation, it's disaggregation, because that's what the OMB uses. I don't know, but that's why we gotta have it. You know why? Because I bet you if you do it for us, our unemployment rate is probably at like 11%. Because how many foreign-born are, oh my goodness, are also black? See, you gotta just have ADOS, because you have foreign-born who are also black immigrants, right? So you gotta disaggregate. But if our unemployment rate, please slow this down for me, family. If our unemployment rate is higher than foreign-borns, obviously DL, when you say, have you ever looked at this job and said you want the job that they want? Obviously, we need that job. We need some job. Obviously, there might be a displacement problem. That's something that we should look into. That's not something we can joke about. But if joking is your thing, if joking is your vocation, then I understand why you would do it. See, I'm not going to do it. I'm a serious-minded person. I read books, articles, journal articles. I read. If you don't read and you just go by what people tell you, yeah, you're going to make mistakes and you're not going to understand the seriousness of the moment. I get it. But let's go to something else. So you see that? Now hold on to that. Hold your hat. Because they brought up LGBTQ. So they asked. D.L. Hughley asked. Now, he asked a question. It deserved, and it got a bad answer. He said, why? Some black men believe that the LGBTQ community gets more attention and their needs get more attention than black men. Right? He said that, and Ben Crump was there. And Crump said, and I don't want you to believe I disagree with everything. Somebody said, what did they say? Somebody said something else I agree with. Let me see if I can find it, because I took notes. Let me see. What'd they say? Hold on. What somebody said? Somebody said something to the effect of, what did they say? Hold on. Because I don't want to forget it. That hypermasculinity masquerading as leadership. We have seen some of that even in this ADOS lineage space. I lead. You don't do no work. You don't build nothing. You just be talking. We see a lot of just talking. What does the activism look like? What does he walk to? See, in the ADOS movement, the men over here actually lead. They don't just, well, I tell you what. No, that's not what happens here. Everybody who leads does work. Like, you have to, you know a tree by its fruit, right? You don't know a tree because the tree just talk and be like, I bet you I can make a good plum. I bet you I can make a good peach. Yeah, I bet you I can. No, give me a peach. Or else you a dead tree or an apple tree, whatever. I need to know what kind of tree you are by what falls from your leaf. What kind of tree is this? You don't produce work. You don't produce. You don't create. Oh, you just a tree that just wind around. Well, I don't know what to do with that. But it's crazy. But they got to the LGBTQ stuff. right? And I do agree with some other stuff. Somebody say our socialization has taught us to praise people with a lot of money. I believe that's part of the Trump appeal too. I do. But the LGBTQ LMNOP plus one stuff really got on my nerves because Ben Crump basically said, our plights are tied together. Something like that he said. That's what Ben Crump, I think that was Ben Crump, and they was all saying, well, we rise, kind of like we if they gonna do it to them, they do it to us. This right here, what year was this? Let me see. What year was this same-sex marriage made nationwide? Hold on. No. Let me go through all of them. 2013. No, was it 2013? No, it was up here. I must have put it up here. I'm going through all of them. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find the one that I was looking for. Not the foreign born. I think it was 2015. Yeah, 2015. In a long sought victory for the gay rights movement, the Supreme Court ruled by a 5-4 vote on Friday that the Constitution guarantees right to same-sex marriage. Now, the reason I wanted to go and find this and find the date, there's a reason why I want to find the date as 2015. Why? Why, Yvette? Why'd you want to find the date as 2015? Because in 2013, 2 years before that, they gutted the Voting Rights Act. So within 2 years, you had the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. And I know there's a shift and change and whatever. I'm not talking about that. What I'm showing you is that whether you appoint a new justice or whether they decide something differently, our plights are not intertwined, right? A bad thing could happen to ADOS, and a really good thing could happen to the LGBTQ LMNOP community, and they do not have to intersect. This idea that our plights are, no. Solidarity is not based on that. Solidarity is based on us deciding that we are going to be there for each other. Now, when they gutted the Voting Rights Act, how many rainbow flags did you see? I'm asking. Whether it's a police, a judgment about what the police can and cannot do, police violence, whether it is the Voting Rights Act, whenever the Supreme Court comes down with something that is bad for us, how many white folk with rainbow flags do you see outside? I just don't see it. So my question is, if we are not, why are you getting on TV, being cropping everybody and talking about, well, our stuff is intertwined, this civil right. That's the problem I have with civil rights. That's the problem I have with the naming of this. Throw away civil rights. That's not our fight. Throw it away. Call it justice for ADOS rights or whatever. Throw this trash away. Because Al Sharpton got on TV and said, people forget. They was like, Al Sharpton, why do you fight for all this other stuff that's not, Oprah was interviewing him. And people was real honest back in the day. Like this was like some years back. People forget I'm just not for black rights. I'm for civil rights. So that means everybody. That means the gays and the immigrants. I'm for civil rights. I'm not for no civil rights. I'm fighting specifically for ADOS. Now, if you all decide that you're going to show up with your rainbow flags when something like this is going down, if you all decide that you're going to put your rainbow money beside people and organizations and movements that are doing work for ADOS, then we can work. But if you don't decide that you're going to put your little rainbow money with what we're doing, I can't put myself on the line for what you're doing. It don't make no sense that the NAACP was showing up for DACA and shows up for everything and says we're not a black organization and sides with everybody. Well, that's wrong. The NAACP had a brief in the gay rights thing. They had a brief in there. They supported that. But my problem is, I can't show up for you if you can't show up for me. People like, what? And they always say, well, there's gay blacks too. That's not the point. The thing that impacts ADOS more than anything is the caste, the racialized caste created by slavery. And I'll tell you something else. Those people who say that stuff have never experienced discrimination at the hand of gay whites. We can bring up some cases here in Atlanta too about that kind of discrimination. So for you to get, it's a slap in the face of everybody for you to get on TV and say, well, what they experience, we experience. Our plight is tied together. Everything, we know, we got one hand. Shut up. Hey, do what you do in the legal field, but you don't get to lead. Well, and nobody ever answered the question, does the Democratic Party pay more attention to LGBT? Lord, it's too many letters now. Then they do ADOS men. And the answer is yes, always have. And instead of dealing with ADOS men, they have said that they have tried to split ADOS women from ADOS men instead of dealing with them and just say, well, these men just don't read. Women bear the brunt. And so instead of actually dealing with the issue, child, I don't even know what world we live in. We're in it together. Let me tell y'all something. People don't like to really read the stuff that we need to read, but go and read of the cases that step by step led to marriage equality. And go look at the ways in which much of the LGBT community walked away from all of this stuff once they got marriage equality. Go and look at how many of them now are on the Republican side or with Trump. All they wanted was that one thing. You ain't got to believe me. History is a good teacher. They did this thing and they did it fast. You ever notice how everybody else get their stuff fast? Look, in 2013, the Supreme Court in Lawrence versus Texas struck down Texas's SODOMY law. Don't be getting me, YouTube. And in turn, invalidated SODOMY laws in 13 other states, making private consensual adult blank activity between same blank couples legal across the U.S. I mean, they plotted this thing out. They got case after case. They got the court, they got the case, they got the jurisdiction, and they went. The United States versus Windsor, 2013. After more than 40 years together, Edith Windsor and Thea Spire were legally married in Toronto, Canada in 2007. Their marriage was officially recognized in New York in 2008 when their home state ordered state agencies to recognize same-sex marriages performed in other jurisdictions. When Thea died in 2019, she left her entire estate to Edie. However, Edie was barred from claiming the federal estate tax exemptions for surviving spouses under the Defense of Marriage Act, a law that prohibited the federal government from recognizing the marriages of same-sex couples, and as a result was faced with a $363,000 estate tax bill. Let me tell you, Edie them had some money too, didn't they? And they didn't care. Let me tell you, the LGBT community didn't say, well, we're not going to go against Democrats. No, they went after Democrats. Hey, they got Joe Biden to turn on Barack Obama. Joe Biden said it's time. Joe Biden was the one who first came out and said, hey, we going to be in support. I'm in support of gay marriage. Before Obama said it, let me tell you, the LGBT community was not just towing the line of Democrats. And then they had money too. So they got the bundlers and all the filmmakers and stuff like that to say, we're not giving no money to y'all until y'all change on this. They put the screws to Democrats, and we over here talking about we got to vote blue no matter who says who says what. And they got all these cases lined up. Hey, there's a great book about it. I can't remember the name. I was trying to think of the name while I was drinking my water, but I can't think of the name, but it's worth a read. But it's about marriage equality, how marriage equality was won. But I guarantee you, because it's good to read about this. It's good to read about this. It's good to read about how everybody end up getting stuff you don't get in a short amount of time. Right? Ain't it? It's good to read about this kind of stuff. They wasn't going around, and when they were trying to win marriage, they weren't going around and saying, they were trying to win marriage. They weren't talking nothing about, well, we got to do something great for the blacks. We got to do, they weren't. So for somebody to get up there and pretend that to be true. Now, to the extent that happens, great. Like if I look at solidarity like a contract. We have certain values, if we have certain values in common, and I want this for you, and you want this for me, then we can figure out ways to do that. But this is not going to be a situation. It never should be. Politics is I'm sure it intersects with morality, but politics is not morality. If you can help me and I can help you, that's great. But I'm not going to just stand on the line for you because my organization believes in civil rights. You are at the organization that MLK and all of them, Roy Wilkins was head of. You don't get to do that. But I guess when you take white dollars, you have to. In 2009, two same SEX couples, Chris Perry and Sandy Steer and Paul Katami and Jeff Zarillo, filed a lawsuit against the state of California in a federal court, arguing that California's Proposition 8 violated the U.S. Constitution by denying them a fundamental right. And depriving them of equal protection under the law. Prop 8, a state constitutional amendment defining marriage as between one man and one woman, had passed the ballot the previous November, stripping same-sex couples of the right to marry in California. Child, they went after all that. Tell me politics don't work. Come on, tell me. Tell me again how, no. Politics, and we just got to get these people went after politics. In the courts. Started in the lower courts, took it all the way up top. And they were single-minded as they did it. They did not file one lawsuit for the Negro when they were doing it. They were after marriage equality, and they got it. And you know, one reason they got it, they were singular-minded. They were not. You should not be double-minded in your politics. You better focus on yourself. And the people who are you aligned with, they need to focus on you too. In order for me to help you, you gotta help me because I have an agenda. We're not just, well, we got to do this. This is what's right. And our stuff is tied together. No, it's not, because they gutted the Voting Rights Act around the same time marriage equality passed. And every time we doing something specifically for us, I don't see all the rainbow flags. Somebody come around with a rainbow flag and get your whole organization out there, a lot of y'all out there with a rainbow flag, and let's talk. But until then, I don't understand what the conversation is about. So I don't understand. Go and watch the black man thing, the BET thing last night, y'all, and see if that answer makes sense to you. Because it did not make sense to me. And if it makes sense to you, God bless you. But listen, I do believe that a lot of mistakes were made. Like mistakes were made. Right? Mistakes were made. But in my prediction, I was going to bring up switching gears. I was going to bring up the swing states. I think I'm at like the 45-minute mark. I don't really want to. Like I'll just go with a mistake though before I go to the phones. And I really want to hear what y'all think. What do y'all think? Because I'm not going to see y'all until election night. If you're on Patreon, I will see you Monday night. Other than that, I will be doing an election night special, so I will see you on election night. But I want your predictions, because, like, if I was wrong last election. Like I'm not a person who said I was wrong. Not last election. I was wrong when Trump beat Hillary, and I've said this before. I thought that Hillary was going to win by a small margin. I didn't think Trump was going to take it. And he took it. So I have been wrong before, and everybody was wrong, because they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win by the polls, had her winning by +10. I said, no, it's going to be like +2. She lost. She won the popular vote. She lost the electoral college, whatever. Like, if I had to predict, tonight is about predictions, I predict actually that Kamala loses, right? I don't predict that she's going to lose by as much as some people say, but maybe she will. But I predict a Kamala Harris loss. Because I'm not going to see you again till Tuesday. I want to hear what you got to say. I'm going to put the phones on. I think you should go watch that BET thing just to see where we are in terms of how this conversation is being handled. You can go see it. It's up on the BET thing, BET Town Hall or whatever. Have your popcorn ready on election night. Have your Sprite, whatever your libation is. And we're gonna do it. But I want to hear tonight, though, if you have a prediction, call in. I want to know what your prediction is and by how much. Like, I would say, I don't know how much, like, by electoral college votes. I got to do the math again. I think the election night, they have a little map out or something. But I think she loses. Now, if Kamala wins, you know what that means to me? That means to me that there are a lot more women who are voting on Roe v. Wade who are just not willing to say so. That means there are a lot of women, probably white women, who are going into the voting booth. They're not sharing it with their husbands or boyfriends, but they're voting on Roe, right? That's what it means to me if she wins. But if I had to put money on her right now, I don't say that she wins. Anyway, if you want to call in, please do, and tell me what your prediction is in terms of an election night victory or loss. And I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, fam? Let me come back in here because we on the line. I can see y'all done filled up the line. So let me come back in here and get people on the line. On the line. Mm-hmm. All right, fam. Let me go to 770. What we looking at? What we looking at on election night? Hold on one second.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, fam.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that my prediction is that Kamala is going to lose by about maybe 10% of the popular vote. But what's going to mess her up is she's going to lose all but one of the swing states.
Ooh, so wait a minute. Which swing state you got her winning?
Michigan, maybe.
Even with the Arab community being upset with her, you still think she might pull it off?
That's the only way she's gonna pull it off is because she got the Arabs mad at her.
Oh my goodness. So okay, I got your prediction, fam. Anything else before I go to the next caller?
This is my rationale.
Okay.
This is my rationale. Because Arabs tend to be conservative.
Even with the Palestinian stuff.
They probably would have voted Republican anyway.
But she has a lot of them mad at her about, Israel, Gaza, that sort of stuff. She done shouted them down at people are protesting and you shouting them down. So I don't know, friend, but we gonna see. We're gonna see on election night. We'll be here. I'll be here. All right, fam. Appreciate you. Going down to 323. Who you got on election night? Ah, 323. We lost you. Going. 832. What's your name? Where you calling from? Who you got?
Hey, this is Mark from Houston.
What's going on, Mark? What's going on?
Nothing much. Been watching this crazy election. This is one of the hardest elections to predict.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually right in 2016 and 2020. I thought Trump would win, and then I thought he would lose because there's no way he could overcome like a pandemic. Like that just weighs your presidency down too much. And I just think it's so difficult now because the early voting numbers are actually favoring Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting a lot more. I guess he's getting a higher percentage of the mail-in and the early in-person vote in all of the swing states that he did in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But no one knows whether he's like cannibalizing his election day vote, whether that's just people who would have voted on election day anyway.
Yeah, I don't trust that, and that's why I don't trust that.
I don't either. Because things happen. You get off of work, you're tired, you see that long line, you're like, hell no, forget that.
Yep.
And so I'm going to say Trump only because I do think his early voting numbers are so good that even if there's some fall off on election day, I think he'll still pull it off. And to be honest, she'll have nobody to blame but herself. And the Democrat Party is going to have to do such an analysis of what went wrong. I don't think they'll still choose the right way forward, but I think they're going to at least have to look at what went wrong because it's going to be bad. I think she could lose all, like that lady said, I think she could lose all but one of the swing states. I don't think the one she'll win is Michigan, though. I think she'll probably win Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't see her winning Michigan either. And I do think Wisconsin is one that she could, because of, to get the, who she VPI. But I do think she could win that one. But Michigan, I don't know. That's looking a little bit out of reach. But you don't think? Do you? So she. That's a lot of swing states to lose.
I know. It's just she's so like people wanted. It's so crazy. People wanted to believe in her. Believe it or not.
Yes, everybody did.
Yep.
Everybody was rooting for her.
They were like, oh, she's a change. Let's see what she's about. And literally, she never took the opportunity to make her own agenda.
Well, here's the thing, fam.
Kind of doing these weak proposals.
Well, here's the thing, fam, and you're right. But here's the thing: if you're the change candidate, when somebody asks you, okay, what makes you different than Biden, you can't say nothing. I can think. You gotta. I mean, she just can't even hit the softballs. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen this in my life. like a candidate. George W. Bush was probably the worst that we've seen, and he wasn't this bad. So you're right, fam. You're right. You're right. So yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling in. We're gonna see on election night. It's gonna be interesting to see. But I tell you, either it's gonna be tight or it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be one or the other. Either it's gonna be tight or it's gonna be a bloodbath. And when I say bloodbath, I mean her. Either it's gonna be tight. That's why I feel. I could be wrong. We could all be wrong. We don't know. And nobody got no crystal ball. But that's where I am, fam. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, take care.
You too. Have a good one. Ooh. Ain't nobody got Kamala out there? 617. What's going on?
Hey, Yvette, it's Reggie. What's happening?
What's up, Reggie? Well, shout out to you. We had with your event, your successful event in Boston. So shout out to you. I was happy to be invited.
Hey, man, but listen, just before I get into the prediction, just wanted to say that.
Speak up a little bit for me, Ray. Speak up a little bit. They always say you low.
Oh, no, I was gonna say the event was as successful as it was because of the organizational infrastructure from the Adolf Foundation, the Adolf Empowerment Project. Without that infrastructure, what y'all see on video does not happen. So shout out to you and to everybody in the org that helps the activists on the ground really make an impact, because it really has in Boston.
Oh, thank you.
In terms of the election, I'm thinking Trump wins 296 to 242.
Ooh.
Electoral votes.
Ooh.
I gave Trump North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Michigan. North Carolina, I was watching Savvy's timeline where she was reporting that a lot of I think there's like the ad buys or the infrastructure in North Carolina, they're out. It seems like, okay, we're going to lose there.
Oh, they've left. They've left. Yeah, I read that too, that they left, right, that they're gone.
Yeah, and with Georgia, it looks like the early voting that black folks and Democrats are underrepresented there. Joe's not on the ballot, so forget Pennsylvania. I don't see the Rust Belt going for Kamala. Good luck with that. Michigan and the uncommitted vote, forget about it. And I think Arizona, being a border state, I think that goes to Trump, because of the way that that we've handled the migrant crisis and immigration reform overall. And I would even go as far, and I gave, just to be nice to Kamala, I gave her Nevada. I don't know how that's going to go.
He said just to be nice.
I'm just being nice. I don't know. That could go the other way. Now, with Minnesota, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'm being nice with Minnesota, because I don't see how, because you're looking at the black vote and you're also looking at the Somali vote.
Yeah.
They're kind of embedded in this country. So the idea that Trump is going to round up the Somalis, I don't see that. I see when people think mass deportations, granted, all immigrants are kind of on pins and needles about it, but I think that's more Mexicans and Central South Americans than anybody else. I feel like the Somalis and the people from the Horn have kind of anchored themselves in the country, and as such, they're either leaning right or they're leaning towards Trump because of. And we've had discussions with this online with people from the Horn, that the Democrats have not really shown up in terms of dealing with the genocide and the political instability in that part of the world. Mm-hmm. So it's like, so they're saying the Democrats haven't done anything for 20 years and we're spiraling, so I'm out of there. And the fact that a lot of them are lean into Islam and the aggression with Gaza, she might lose Minnesota. I don't know. And we might be looking at 306. It's like I just don't see it. And if Kamala does win, or Kamala, sorry, if Kamala does win, I don't see that she has a mandate to lead in the direction that a progressive would want her to lead in, because she's already promised so many concessions to the Republicans. Like, you get to be on the candidate, you get to be on the cabinet. I'm holding hands with Dick Cheney. So in terms of foreign policy, or in terms of any progressive agenda, or even women's rights, I see her folding on a lot of stuff under the guise of bipartisanship.
Oh, yeah, she already folded when she said what would you do different? Well, I thought of something. I'm gonna have a Republican in my cabinet. Like, this is not, ma'am.
Yes, you're gonna have stuff in terms of crazy foreign policy, military, industrial complex. You're gonna see her folding on tax policy. All in the name of balancing the budget, and like, oh, I can't get this through. We're one country. She's not gonna stand on business, and even if she wins, and I think it'll be razor thin, she wants to hold on to that so-called bipartisan coalition, and she's going to get dragged further to the right. It's going to be a disaster either way.
Well, I agree, Rich.
In terms of Kamala, I think that Black women in this country who have kind of invested in Kamala are about to have an Obama moment in the same way that Black men had to deal with. And I think we have to get ready for that and see what that looks like in terms of our advocacy and working together. But that's all I had.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Reggie. Yeah, hey, we listen. Thank you, Reggie. We ain't got no Kamala one yet. we ain't got no Kamala one yet. Going right now, 713. What's your name? Where you calling from? Who you got?
Hi, Yvette. This is Terry. I'm calling from Houston.
Hey.
Well, I guess my prediction, I think Kamala's going to win.
Okay.
I don't think she's going to blow out like Joe Biden, but I think she'll probably scrape on through.
You said scrape on through.
Yeah, I think she'll probably barely make it. Like, she'll probably get like the 270 she needs to become president. But I don't think she's going to have like a big old mandate like the other gentleman said as well.
Okay. So you think it's going to be tight, but she'll pull it off.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be able to do anything, because I think the Senate will probably still go to Republican. She'll have like divided government or whatever. So.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just say this, and I meant to say this to Reggie. I don't think she wants to do anything. Like, I have a theory about Kamala that she's mostly an opportunist candidate, but to the point that she has any ideology is conservative. Right? If you look at some of the stuff she says about crime years ago, and some of the stuff I actually agree with her on, like, hey, we need police to protect us. But if you start getting her to talk about police, she sounds way more moderate than she sounds today. And I don't believe she believes the stuff that she says today, so it's hard for her to campaign on it. I actually believe that if the Republican Party were different, Kamala, and she were not in California, Kamala would be a Republican. She would be a moderate Republican. She wouldn't be a Democrat. That's a natural fit for her. And I think she's in a place that's not a good fit for her.
Right. She doesn't want to do it. She's not going to do anything. I just wanted to say this. I want to thank you for all you do, because you taught me a lot of stuff. Because I used to go for the Democratic Party or whatever, and I did not listen to you in 2020. I still voted for Joe Biden because I was scared. But this time, I've learned my lesson. After what they've done, like these last 4 years, I was like, oh no, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. But I want to say I follow Alan Lichtman. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He predicts the presidencies. He's been right like the last 40-some years, and he says Kamala's going to win. And he predicted Trump when everybody said Hillary was going to win. But I guess that's why I'm getting my little prediction or whatever.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate you, and no problem. I appreciate you. I mean, we learn when we learn. Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate you. And I'm gonna go to the phones because they lit up. All right, appreciate you, fam. Somebody said, "Oh, you're pro police." No, I'm more nuanced than that. Like, I think we deserve protection. I think we deserve not to be stalked. But I do believe that if somebody's climbing in your window at night, you should have someone to call. And that person should not come in your house and KILLU. That person should come in your house and protect you from the person who's climbing in your window. And I think because police protect wealth and not persons, we have a problem because we're wealthless. But I'm not a person who says that, like, I never agreed with the defund the police. Now, I agree that you move a bunch of funding away from the police, and you move a bunch of funding. The police is awash in money. So you move a bunch of funding away from them. You move that funding to people who can come and deal with social, like when you talk about people who do social care, who come out and deal with people who have mental illnesses. When you talk about having some place for these people to go, when you talk about homeless shelters, the police is overfunded. But I'm not a person who says or believes that it's possible especially in a world awash with guns, that it's possible to like not have police around. I think that ADOS people deserve to be protected by the police the same way other people do. And that's not what happens in this society. In this society, we are the prey a lot of times of police. We are harassed by the police, and the police do not have a charge to protect us. So I believe in transforming the way policing happens in this country, not just kind of saying we don't have police at all. I just think that's unserious. So let me go to the next call. I'm going to 614. Who you got? How about by how much?
Hey, what's up, Yvette? How you doing? This is Will giving you a call from Texas.
What's going on, Will? Who you got? And by how much? Who's winning this thing?
Hey, Miss Yvette, I think I'm gonna have to go with Trump, man. I'm just
really
right now a diehard Trump supporter.
Now, where you live? Where you say you live?
I think for me.
You said Texas?
Say it again.
You say you live in Texas? Where you say you live?
Yeah, I live in Texas right now.
Okay.
Originally from New York, though.
Okay.
From New York.
Okay.
Yeah, originally from New York, by way of Ohio, actually. So what's up to you? Shout out to the whole fam. This is actually a surreal moment for me right now, just because I've really been tuning in for probably the last 5-6 years heavy. And I just happened to be tuning in tonight, and I saw the numbers. So I was like, let me call and say what's up. I didn't even think I would get through.
Yeah, I heard that New York. I heard that New York that time. I think I would get through.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I heard your New York. I heard the New York in you. Like, that's all I said. That's all.
Oh, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, but I went to Cleveland State. I studied psychology. I've worked in corporate America heavy for the last 25 years. I happen to be in my 40s. I worked in nonprofit. I've actually worked for the government too. So I've had like a unique vantage point. Everything that you guys say really makes sense. I think I've really become just heavily vested in a little bit more since I've been following you. So thank you so much for
no problem.
Expounding my consciousness and everything. But so much to say right now. But yeah, I'm going for Trump, man, just because he's already demonstrated strong leadership, not just here in America, but just internationally, on the global stage. He's really demonstrated strength and resilience. And really, man, I'm kind of disappointed in America right now. I can't even believe Kamala Harris is where she is. Like, it's wild to me. Like, anyway, let me stop talking. Go ahead. What's up? Yeah, oh my God. What's up? Shout out to everybody.
What's up? Shout out to you, fam. We appreciate you.
All of y'all. I wish I could talk to you all night, man, because we could go at it. But anyway.
Hey, when we're in town, wherever you at, we'll definitely get together and have that conversation. But I appreciate you. Fam. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate your perspective. We'll have a conversation. Thank you. I'm gonna try to get to some calls though real quick because I want everybody, like, these calls. It ain't, they lighten up the lines. Everybody want to tell me who gonna win. So I appreciate you, fam. I'll get you next time. No,
absolutely.
You have a good one.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Have a good night.
You too. Have a blessed one. Everybody, hey. I'm going right now to 214. 214. Who you got? Who's winning this? And by how much? Let me know.
All right. Yvette, this is you?
Yeah, what's going on, fam? Who we got?
Okay, this is Cecil Armstrong from Dallas, Texas.
Okay, Dallas.
Let me tell you something. I think Trump gonna win by a landslide.
Really?
He's gonna win. Yes, because this election reminds me of '64. I was a young kid in '64. In '64, when John F. Kennedy got killed in '63, LBJ became the runner for presidency.
Okay.
And Barry Goldwater was the Republican. And the rumor was in the hood was if Barry Goldwater got elected president, that all black people was going back to Africa. And LBJ won by a landslide. He won that landslide, but the policies that LBJ put in place devastated the black community, because I was a witness of that, because when he put those welfare policies in place, that took the man out of the house. We couldn't have a man in the house. We couldn't even have a television in the house. And so, therefore, it devastated the black community. And this election right now,
do you know who got that man? Do you know who got that man in the house rule out? You know who went to court to get rid of the man in the house rule?
Who was that?
A black woman.
A black woman.
Yep. It's been going, and it's been going for years too. I hate that I keep hearing about the man in the house rule.
Always find one token black person to do the dirty work.
No. She got the man in the house rule done, over with. Like, we don't talk about how long that rule has been gone, and that it was a black woman who got rid of that rule.
Okay. You said she got the rule gone.
Yeah. And it's been gone for a long time.
Like I said, I think people with a lot of the policies were changed or whatever. But the reason why the last 4 years, I followed you. And I was with you with Arbery and all those people. I followed you. And so a lot of times people downvoted. I downvoted in 2020. So I went to downvote and did all the downvotes. So a lot of people are not going to downvote this time. A lot of people are going to make sure who get there and who don't get there.
I appreciate you. So you said you think Kamala gonna win. I'm a tag it, fam. I'm gonna let you go.
I said Trump gonna win by a landslide.
Oh, I thought you said Kamala gonna win by a landslide.
Trump gonna win by a landslide.
Okay, I got you, fam. I had you wrong. I appreciate you. I'm gonna let you go because the lines stay filled up. But I appreciate you. You have a good one now. You have a good one. Anybody keeping tally out there? What is it? What is it? How many is it? Trump, Kamala? I can't remember. I could have swore he said. I must have heard him wrong. Going now to 864. 864. Who got it? Who gonna win? Who we got? You in the car with your signal light on. 864. Come on, 864.
Can you hear me, Yvette?
I can hear you. You got your signal light on. What you doing? Where you going?
I'm George Robinson from Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay. Who you got for the election, and by how much?
And I think Trump's gonna win in a landslide. I think it's gonna be right about 310, 313 electoral college votes.
Ooh.
Okay. I don't think he's going to win Minnesota, but I think he's going to win all the other swing states. But they're going to be close. He's going to win them, but it's going to be very close. So the election's going to be, I think, going to be close that way. But he's going to win. Also, he's going to win those swing states.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
I'm the truck driver, and I've been driving for over 20 years. The border, California, all that stuff. From what I'm getting out here on the road, it's just going to come down to the economy, inflation.
Really?
It's just so many trucking companies going out of business. Everything is so high. Immigration is just, it's awful. I've gone through all them checkpoints, Eagle Pass, Texas, Del Rio, Los Angeles. I mean, I ran all that stuff for over 13 years, consistently, Texas and the border of Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
All that. Walked down on the border, I saw all of it. It is horrendous. And I think enough white people they're gonna vote for the Republicans. And I'm gonna vote for Trump. And I think Trump's racist. But the reason why I'm gonna vote for him is because I'm gonna vote for the racist. Well, I think Biden is racist too. But
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you on both counts. I agree with you on both counts.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote for the racist white man who I feel is better for the economy, which I think is Trump.
Okay. We got
oil and gas, immigration, and inflation.
Okay, I got you.
And plus, with the immigration, I say this: I think he don't care anything about us as Black Americans, but I'm 53, so 55, 50, he's gonna get a lot of Black men to vote for him. And basically what it is only thing we're going to get out of him is he's going to deport our competition.
Ooh. Well, fam, I'm
so like you got a table, you got a population. What Trump's going to do is if he gets in there, he's not going to show any mercy on these immigrants, illegal immigrants, people who overstay the visas, all this kind of stuff. And as Black men, the ones I've been talking to, all we got to do is just sit back. And that white man gonna cut loose, and he's just gonna clear the table of a lot of illegals in a lot of different areas of the country, and that's just gonna free up space for Black men.
Oh, okay, fam. I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty more than anything. But I'm gonna let you go to get back to it. But thank you, fam. I appreciate you. That's a good perspective. Thank you so much. You have a good one. All right. Yeah, he driving in the truck. That's why I'm like, where he going? Going now to 786. Who you got and by how much?
Hey, Yvette. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, fam. What's going on?
Okay, so I think Trump is primed to win, but I do think that the Democrats may take it somehow. They might steal it. If they don't do anything funny, then all of the polls lead to him winning, and the environment is ripe for him to win because the economy was better under him, and this economy is shit right now. Immigration is shit right now.
Okay, please watch your language, just because this is YouTube. This is not Patreon. So.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The economy was better under him, as well as immigration was better under him. And those are the leading issues. I know she's running on women's rights, but what can she really do about reversing Roe versus Wade? What is she going to do? If she can even eliminate the filibuster, is she going to be able to fill any Supreme Court seats that they won't strike it down?
I don't know, but I think people are thinking that may be their only hope, right? In terms of like doing another law and sending it, and then they have to strike that down too.
She's running on an issue she can't fix. What should have happened is Obama should have codified it. Like, he ran on codifying it. He should have done that, but they don't want to do it because they need to campaign on this issue because they raise a lot of money. And they didn't want to fix it because they wanted to use it as a political football, which they've been doing for years and years, and they're going to continue to do. So she's running on something she can't fix, and she has nothing to offer the people. And her campaign has just been a whole bunch of gaslighting, and nothing that she says should be taken seriously because she does not look like she's even strong enough to fix anything. Like, I can't see her going up against Republicans at all.
You say she don't look like she's strong enough to fix nothing. Oh.
Can you tell me where has she exerted any strength?
Hey, listen, don't call on me to lie. Don't you get me to lie. Don't call on me to lie and tell you I saw strength where I don't see none. I can't lie. I will not tell a lie. I see opportunism.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I see opportunism. I don't see that. But but listen, I appreciate you. Like, that's we don't have no common believers.
That is where she does have some strength there because when she was fighting to keep those black men locked up in prison to fight fires for the slave wages, she was able to do that. So she'll sacrifice, black people because they're at the bottom of the totem pole. She'll do that because she's a careerist. But that's the only thing that I see her sacrificing, and that's the only way I see her having strength is when it comes to prosecuting people that she knows she can do it and get away with it. Oh. But everything else, you will not see her go up against the white supremacists in our party or in the Republican Party, because she won't do anything that will in any way compromise her being able to win in another election.
Oh, that's all I can say. I'm sorry. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, ooh.
And another thing I wanted to say is for the defund the police, what it would have happened is they would have taken that funding and they would have created other departments that would help out the police, like social work and social programs and things like that. Abolish the police is people that wanted to get rid of it, but defunding just wasn't popular because people didn't really know. They didn't understand the concept.
Well, they had the wrong name. They had the wrong name. Defund the police doesn't sound like a nuanced perspective. It sounds like you don't want police.
Right.
And so it's just like they gave it the wrong label.
You're right. The messaging was bad, and that's the reason that no one really, got it. But yeah, that's what it really would have done. But listen, Biden had gotten endorsed by like 200 police officers or police people or whatever, and Kamala got endorsed by like 100 of them, and Trump was endorsed by like the FPO, the Fraternal Police Organization. So none of these things will ever happen under any of these presidents because they're all in those same people's pockets. They all have the same donors. So none of those things will happen. Nothing progressive will happen.
I agree.
Unless you have somebody like Trump that just doesn't give a damn and will do whatever he wants to do. But he's not left-leaning, so it's not going to happen. So I think he will win if they don't do something, if Dems don't cheat. And I think he should because he deserves to win. She's just a mess, and she's going to set us back.
Well, thank you, fam. I appreciate you. I'm going to try to just roll through the calls, but I appreciate your call. I appreciate your perspective, all right? You have a good one. Ooh.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
No, we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of Kamalas. We don't have a lot of Kamalas. We don't have a lot. Let's keep it going. 4438. I say 4438 because I have two 443s in the queue. 4438. Who you got and by how much?
Yeah, hello. Hi, my name is Dalo. I'm calling from North Carolina. So
hey.
I was just playing with the machine, the predictor machine.
Okay.
Right now, I think I have Trump I'm trying to be as considerate or as moderate as possible, maybe as conservative as possible. I have Trump 272, 266. But if I'm being, that's because I gave Kamala Arizona and I gave Kamala Pennsylvania. But if I'm being real honest about Arizona, I doubt she can win Arizona. Because, like the previous caller mentioned, the most important things to people right now, the economy and immigration. I read somewhere that in Arizona, pregnant women have to drive 2 hours now. I'm an immigrant, but I'm not one of those. I'm not delusional to not understand. Like, it's hard for me to explain this. Now, I would support my family member to get to America. I would find a way to get them over the border. I would do all that. That's my feeling. I would do that. But I'm not delusional to not understand the impact of illegal immigration. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Go ahead.
No, a lot of immigrants feel the same way. Like we're here now, and like we don't want a country. We have a feeling we're here now legally, and we have a feeling about immigration, and like a lot of immigrants say that. A lot of Latino immigrants say that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're right, and I'm not trying to disparage the immigrants because I would do anything to get my family to America. But that's separate from discussing the reality. And I think that the Democrats, they've become the bougie party or they become the elitist party, and it's become very disgusting. When I hear people talk on TV, like you were saying on CNN, I wonder to myself, are these people living in the same world I'm living in? It's quite bizarre sometimes. And I'm looking at these people. Don't you have neighbors that are telling you what illegal immigration is doing to their... Chicago is $700 million over budget because the mayor has been awarding what they call no bid contracts. First of all, I think we should start tracking who those contracts are going to, right? I think if you start tracking those no bid contracts, you see how it correlates to the fact that why on earth would they wait 3 years to put in these executive orders that Trump had? I just don't understand the madness. And again, I'm an immigrant, and I would make my family come in, but I can speak like someone that has common sense that who do you think illegal immigration affects the most? It's bizarre when I hear people like Dale Hughley talk. It's kind of cringy because I'm like, is it that you're that stupid or you're that evil that you're not speaking the truth? Because you know clearly what Trump meant by black jobs. Are we dumb? Like, did you see the pandemic? Did you not know this? Like, it's kind of bizarre that I hear these things and people are allowing people to just go online and say nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump you call him a bigot, you call him a racist, call him whatever you want to call him. At the end of the day, Trump is about people in America. And at the end of the day, America has to be good for black people for the black community to survive. I don't care what nobody says. America has to function. Immigration and inflation has to be low. Interest rate has to be low. You know, you have to, and we need energy. You have to drill. I'm sorry, the Green New Deal. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody's a progressive. Those things, they don't produce nothing. You know, the Keystone Pipeline has to be restored. You have to make sure your energy. It's just unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Most of the jobs that we have, the truck drivers, people that work in cars, people that own trucks are complaining every day because once you come over the border and they give you the TPS, temporary status, you can go undercut truck drivers now. You can undercut construction workers. Again, I'm an immigrant. I like saying that I would do those same things, but I'm not delusional to not understand how this.
But you're basically saying I understand both perspectives. I understand, like, if I need somebody in my family needs to be here or something, I'm gonna try to get them here. But I understand the perspective, you know, of like a country and the citizens of the country needing to protect the country. Like, so I understand both your perspectives. So, and I appreciate your honest opinion. Like, I appreciate it. Yep. It's great. But
and thank you very much. Even though I listen to you very, very all the time because, you know, you're the only person that cuts through. When I hear you, I get goosebumps because I'm like, she gets it. You said something today that I'm like, damn, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sees that the real world, real people that pay bills, that understand HR. When I hear people on TV, the black pundits, they all sound stupid. Like, they sound very, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that. I mean, it sounds
true.
I'm looking at these people, what are these people saying?
Yep. I agree with you. Like, what, like, and I think they don't have any kind of relationship to, like, it's like that. It's like this is their introduction to politics, right? Like, they haven't done any real politics before this, or they don't have any kind of political knowledge or acumen. I agree with you, but I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate it though. This was I appreciate your perspective, and I'm gonna try to get to a couple more people before we get out of here. Appreciate you though, fam. Yeah, that was a good perspective. Yeah. I ain't everybody. Let me go now to 949. Who you got? 949, and by how much?
Hello, Yvette?
Yeah, what's going on, 949? Who you got? Who winning? What we gonna be saying here on Tuesday night?
Thanks for taking my call, Yvette.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm calling from California,
okay,
outside of Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, let me just say, in 2016, I don't live in LA, but live in the suburbs.
Okay.
Community, conservative, of course, and mainly white, some Asians.
Okay.
And I remember back in 2016, I saw a lot of signage, like on the front lawns and just in the neighborhood, throughout the neighborhoods and everything. 2016, 2020. And most of it was for Republican. I live in a Republican area, and it was for Trump. But this year, I'm not seeing anything hard.
Oh, okay.
And that's just driving through the neighborhood, and I'm like, well, I know these people are voting because they're very patriotic people in this neighborhood, in this area. So they probably don't want to show their hand, or they suspect, there might be some repercussions or something. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But it just seems strange to me that there's no signage out on the lawns, and not even in church lawns or anything like that. So.
Do you think these people are doing what do you think these people are hiding because of the kind of, there is something that comes with being a Trump supporter now, right? So do you think that they're hiding and just don't want anybody to know, or do you think they are turned off of Trump?
Well, I know they're heavily slanted toward Republican, and they do vote. I mean, there are lines out. Early voting, I've been out in the community, and there are just lines around the block. So these people are voting. I don't know what's going on why they didn't put the signage up. Because I did see a few Kamala signs up, but what I usually saw was the proposition signs in the local elections.
Mm-hmm.
I saw those signs up, but nothing like national. So that was really strange to me. Also, Yvette, did you know that Kamala is I think she's going to be using Howard University.
I saw that. She gonna be at Howard on election night, child. Why can't you just be somewhere with your campaign or with your family?
Can you believe that?
Why you gotta why you can't be somewhere with your family at the campaign headquarters somewhere? Why you gotta be over there? Like I hate that.
I thought she would be in California.
Nah, she gonna be right over there in Washington D.C. at Howard University. Why you just can't be with? Why we gotta be the backdrop for this?
Well, we're not gonna allow her back into California. So she can stay back.
So you think she loses?
Again, I want to.
Does she win or lose?
Let me just share with you, win or lose. But now, as far as who I favor, I work in the aerospace tech manufacturing industry, quality control area specifically, and so we have a gamut of immigrants, whites, blacks, and talk around the water fountain is heavily favoring Trump. I'm just going to say that. And I went to we have a yearly one of our colleagues. He gives a yearly Halloween party,
mm-hmm.
and it's a big to do here, big deal. And it was just the talk of the party was on politics, and everyone from the Indians, the Latinos, the Asians, the few blacks that were there, and the whites, everybody. At least this is what they're tilting your hand. They're voting for Trump or heavy Republicans. So
okay.
I don't know how to gauge that, but it just seems like and again, this is blue collar people for the most part.
Uh-huh.
So and I think the Republicans are going to take the House and the Senate.
Oh.
Yes, I do. So even if Kamala were to win, she's gonna.
You think it'll be gridlock?
For her to pass anything.
But who do you? I know who you said who you think you saw, and you giving us your observations. Who wins on Tuesday night? Like when we go to bed, who's gonna be winning?
Yeah.
You got to pick somebody.
What time are you going live?
I'm going live time the stuff closed. I'll be live by 8:30.
Okay, 8:30. So 5:30.
Yeah, your time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Trump's going to win.
Okay.
Landslide. I really do.
Okay. Well.
And I'm basing that on, I think the minority vote. Of course, he's going to get the majority of black vote, but I think the vote is splintered, and but I think who's really going to get him over the top? White people are going to come out and vote for him. That's it. And that ain't going to be a surprise. White people are going to come out to vote this time. And I think it's going to be in record numbers. Okay?
All right.
That's my prediction.
Okay, I appreciate you.
I'm not going to change it.
Okay, I appreciate you. I'll see you Tuesday night. I appreciate you. Or Tuesday evening.
Okay, thank
for
you
you.
so much.
No, appreciate you and appreciate your prediction. I appreciate having people from different places calling in too, talking about what their predictions are. That's very interesting to hear people from different places have different predictions. 510, I'm coming to you. Who we got? Who you got? Who you got? 510. Who's winning Tuesday? Who's winning?
Calling from California, and
hey,
I think Trump has it.
Okay.
And a lot of people, they make assumptions, especially when you're in California. The assumption is, you're going for, the Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think so many people are just frustrated with their inability to focus on reality.
Mm-hmm.
Their messaging has just awful. I think a lot of the young people who, watch YouTube and listen to different political commentators actually, they really dig down and teach you how to see things behind the curtain
Mm-hmm.
and what, things are. I think their eyes are wide open. Even with out here, if you're paying just for a little shack, you're paying almost $1 million. That doesn't work when you're not speaking to, people feeling like they've been deprived or, jobs are at a loss. One of my employees, he called one of his friends a few months ago, and I said, call her and find out what's going on with the unemployment stuff. So he said when he got the information back, she was like, we're preparing, this was like 6 months ago, we're preparing for almost like a COVID-like, environment again. She's like, we're just stacking money right now. She's like, because we anticipate, and I'm pretty sure because companies have been telling them, that people are going to be massively laid off. And, every time you look around, you see different companies laying off.
Well, you saw all the store closures? You saw all the store closures? Like, I've seen Walgreens and a bunch of other stores are closing like across the country. Right? I don't even think we have talked about even the amount of discounts that I've seen. Right? Like it's insane. But to your point.
Yeah. So I think to ignore the economy, I don't know a lot of people that's really focused on albeit we're in California. There aren't a whole lot of folks focused on, reproductive rights, right? Even friends who might live in the South or other areas that, and I'm, a little bit older too, but that's not really the focus right now. And most of the folks, especially I'm generation, what am I? Generation X? No, Generation Z. Those coming behind us, they're having hard time anyway with reproductive, they're having reproductive challenges because a lot of them have been on birth control. And I think they're starting to realize birth control was pushed on them, but they were on it for so many years, and they're having problems with having kids. Talk about that. Talk about other issues that really impact our community, especially where we're stabilized. So here in California, we're looking at a destabilized community that's being pushed out because of gentrification. So, even looking at the view, it's like, are you guys like insane? Like, it's just some stuff where y'all really trying to make a molehill, a grain of salt out of a molehill. It's just insanity. And I think just the whole dramatic stuff, people are tired of it. People can see through it. So it's not the same environment that, folks had during Obama, and to not be able to, measure the temperature of where people are is devastating to the Dems. And I think it will give rise to a third party as well. Because with Jill
that's what I'm watching. I'm watching the third party stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's and then the other issue that I don't think the Dems are really focused on either, even with the influx of immigration, you're actually, to me, bringing in people who aren't going to sign up for Dems. They're more conservative than anything because they come from nations that have been overtaken by, socialism, whatever it is. They have made it to America. They want the promise of what it offers. And that doesn't necessarily include being a Democrat and not being
what promise looks like to them is not necessarily what promise looks like to us. Like if you're coming from Cuba, you're coming from Venezuela, you're coming from these places where they say, I'm not talking about what's true and what's not right now. I'm talking about they say they have seen people, they have seen quote unquote socialism, they have seen, the Cubans talk about Fidel or whatever. Like you have something very different. You're importing something that you can't convince that person, right, to come to your side. So I agree with you, fam. I agree with you. And I want to thank you.
And I'll just leave this last point.
Sure,
Yvette,
go ahead.
Is I see so oftentimes, whether it's city, county, state, whatever nation states, they create policy, but they leave out the equation of behavior. They never consider behavior will adjust to policies. So if you loosen, police, or you create, an avenue for people that are overwhelmingly coming from other countries, you never take into consideration what the behavior, how a behavior is going to adjust to that, and what that looks like.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I appreciate you. Good. That's a good point. Thank you, fam. I appreciate that.
Bye.
Ooh. That's a good
No
point.
problem. Bye.
That's a good point right there. She didn't lie. She didn't lie not one time. 404, who you got? I'm just gonna go in like I'm going real fast right now because I'm trying to get out here. Live still full though. 404, who you got? By how much?
Hey, Yvette.
Hey.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. What's up with you? Who you got?
It's Renee.
Hey, Renee,
I
no.
got Trump. And the reason why I'm picking Trump, not that I support him, I'm actually not a fan of he or Kamala, but in my opinion, Kamala is not a strong candidate. She's also not a great speaker. She does not answer questions. She's constantly ducking and dodging and, dancing around the questions. So I think Trump, not because he's a great candidate either, but he's not pretending to be something that he's not. Trump is what he is, and he's just like, it is what it is.
Well, how close you think this thing gonna be? Like how close is it? Is this a blowout or is this close?
I don't think it'll be as close as people think, but I also don't think it'll be a blowout. So I think for people who think that, like, let's use Georgia for example. So many people in Georgia, when he won the first time, were like losing their stuff. Okay, but they have to remember Atlanta is not Georgia. Georgia is a red state. And the politics of the local metro area does not make up state politics. So I think a lot of states are going to hold true to who they are.
Okay. So Georgia going to be red. Okay.
I believe so.
All right. Appreciate you calling. I'm trying to get to a couple more. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much, fam.
Thank you.
As always. Hey, 215, who you got and by how much?
All right, I Trump. I do not believe.
You on speakerphone, fam? Okay, I can hear you now.
I'm sorry. I got Trump. I think it's not going to be really that close. I think Trump is going to get Georgia. I think Trump is going to get Michigan. And I think Trump is going to get Pennsylvania.
Okay. Y'all don't got no faith in Kamala, child. Y'all don't. I got like who? How many I got? Like 3 pro-Kamala calls. Tell me how many I got in the chat, fam. If you remember. Go ahead, fam. I'm sorry.
I think the black turnout is going to be really low and not as high for Kamala in Detroit, which is going to make her lose Michigan. I think it's going to be the same thing in Philadelphia, which is going to make her lose Pennsylvania. I mean, and I personally, because of just listening to you guys and knowing about the importance of having someone that's going to ensure that, certain programs are funded, I was really going to bite the bullet and vote for Kamala. I really was. And then I seen that executive order for Latinos, and I put it on your tweet.
Wait a minute, you talking about what I tweeted today? You talking about what I tweeted earlier?
What you tweeted her, I said, every time I resolve myself to vote for her, she come and do something dumb. And I was really about to bite the bullet, but with this thing, it's like they're really trying to replace the ADOS vote with Latinos.
I hear you, fam. I hear you, fam. So you don't think it's gonna be close? You said you don't think it's gonna be close.
I think it may be close in terms of popular vote, but I think the actual electoral college, I don't think it's going to be that close.
I appreciate you. Somebody said, "Bet who you vote for?" I already voted. I already voted. I voted today.
Okay, all right. I'm going to ask you voted for.
I'm not listening. I'm not talking about that until Tuesday.
Okay.
But if you know me, you already know. Like if you know me, you know. But like if you don't, then you don't know. But go ahead, fam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you go because I do want to hear some more predictions. It seems like Trump is in the lead so far from the calls, but yeah, I don't think this electoral. Again, I said what I said. I'm willing to put money on it. It's too much of a yes. She got it. She needs to be perfect. He don't really got to flip too much.
I think she just needed to be good. I think she needed to be good. Like I think a politician like Barack Obama defeats Trump easily. I really do. But I just don't think she's good. And I think people softball her and give her the opportunity to be not only good but great. And she just can't rise to the occasion. And that's just is what it is. So
God is good every day, all the time.
God's good when he good every day, all the time, 24/7, whatever she said, y'all. Anyway, fam, I appreciate you. You have a good one, fam. Oh, God is good on Mondays. She might as well. Whew. Oh, that was funny. I'm gonna go to my last caller. I am going to 443. Who you got and by how much?
Hello, Yvette?
Yeah, who you got? 443. Who we got?
George from Baltimore. I think Trump is going to win in a landslide. I'll probably say by way over 270.
Oh.
I think
Way over. How much way over you going? How far over 270 we getting to?
I think way over 270. If I had to call it, if I could go into my reasons, I think we've witnessed the implosion of Kamala Harris's campaign starting in the beginning of October, and she's managed to do these disastrous softball interviews quite badly. She had everything going for her, but she couldn't bring it home. Now all these groups she was counting on voting for her aren't going to vote for her. She has suburbanite white women and, I don't know, some white college kids that she can cobble together as a coalition, which isn't enough to beat Donald Trump. I mean, people want to vote for this man because he's popular. Let me tell you, I don't support neither Trump or Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Jill Stein voter. Here, I'm voting third party. I'm voting the Green Party. But I think Trump is going to win because Americans are fed up. Americans, we've crossed the Rubicon with the attempted assassination of Trump 2 times. Americans need radical politics. And I don't think that Kamala Harris, this woman who was installed and not voted for by the DNC.
You didn't call her installed, did you? You didn't call her installed, did you? Ooh.
Hello?
No, I'm here. I'm listening to you.
So I think you got to think. Joe Biden just called 100 million people that could be potential Trump voters garbage, and Trump just got into a garbage truck fresh off his plane. He's running on that.
Yeah.
So you got to think. Joe Biden called Americans garbage. Michelle Obama shaming people is saying that women are collective victims to men's rage. Obama talking down to people. This is really giving me 2016 energy when you had the media and Hollywood backing Hillary Clinton, and that wasn't enough. Kamala Harris doesn't have a radical political vision that she can offer to Americans. She's offering people Bill Clinton, but in blackface, basically. She's using that strategy that Bill Clinton used in 1992, which is to lean to the right and to lean to the center to win back white moderates. She can't say anything that'll piss off anybody, and everyone will feel offended. So this is really a joke. Trump is going to beat Kamala Harris handily. Plus, she's basically lost the swing states because the Muslims say they're not voting for her because of the Gaza issue. So I don't understand what she's going to do. And she said that she's given up the economy talking point and ran with abortion. So right now, the most important issue on American voters' minds is the economy and inflation. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Yvette, but the president can actually suspend prices. I mean, didn't Nixon do that in the 1970s when he suspended wages and prices and stopped inflation? stop the recession. So, I don't know. And if Trump wins, this is my last point. If Trump wins and manages to beat Kamala Harris and a landslide, or you could say it might be pretty.
Oh, you said a mouthful, fam. I heard that she's also not even committing, like her staff won't commit to DACA anymore. It's just like, we're not committing to nothing. Just go vote. We even with y'all, we're not even doing the DACA. We're not talking about that no more. So I just feel like this is a campaign that just doesn't kind of stand for anything. That sounds like what y'all are saying. I appreciate you, fam. You're gonna be my last call. I appreciate you. That was a mouthful. I sure do appreciate you what you said. Yeah, but listen. Fam, listen, I don't know. I don't have no crystal ball for Tuesday. We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna be here to work our way through it. But if I'm taking a vote on what everybody said who called in, they said Trump's gonna win. Looks like if we took a Breaking Brown show a vote, it looked like that's what it looked like they said. Now, I didn't make nobody say nothing. Y'all hit the like for me, please. We got a lot of haters in the building tonight. So hit the like button for me, please. But yes, so I do not know, but it looks like if we taking a tally, it looks like that the people are saying that they are thinking that Trump wins for various reasons. We had people from all parts of the America call in tonight, and we got everybody from California to Dallas and everybody. Listen, that's what they say. Now it's going to be very interesting when we get here on Tuesday. When we get here on Tuesday and figure out what the end gonna bring. We're gonna see, fam. I've been here almost 2 hours, so I'm gonna get out of here. I will see y'all. The next time I will see you here on YouTube will be election night for the rest of y'all. For Patreon, I will. What's the day? Wednesday. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and then I will see y'all on Monday. For everybody else, I will see y'all. I think I'm right, child. Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays is my nights, and Wednesday only is YouTube. Yeah, something like that, child. So I'll see y'all then. We got something to talk about. And till next time, fam, keep it easy breeze. Don't bother nobody. Don't let nobody bother you. And get prepared for a show, because Donald Trump was already filing some kind of lawsuits or making some kind of complaints about Pennsylvania. Something going on with the voting machine, child. I don't know. But put your seatbelts on and just get ready. That's all I got to say. Bye, fam.